Welcome, welcome, welcome to the 1 p.m. Central Standard Time session of the Self-Care SummitCast 2025. This SummitCast is part of the Dear Future Me Leadership Tour that I'm hosting for the remainder of 2025. And I'm Dr. Rhonda Simmons, and this is the Educator's Edge, Sustainable Systems for Student-Centered Leaders. Let me just pause for a moment because you might be thinking, why am I doing all of this? Because God has blessed me to have a substantial background in education. I've been in education for over 15 years. I've been in ministry for over 30 years. And here we are. I've got my doctorate in educational leadership. And so I want to serve leaders. I want to serve those who God has assigned to my hands to serve so that you can in turn be more effective and have robust schools, robust ministries, robust companies that thrive in every sense of the word. So in this particular segment, we're talking about something too many schools normalize, and that is compassion fatigue, and why your care shouldn't cost you your calling. So let's jump right in. Are you ready? So the exhaustion that goes behind the excellence, let's be honest, our schools are filled with well-meaning, high-performing educators who are silently drowning. I know this to be a fact. Been there, done that. You know what I'm talking about. You're showing up early, staying late, and pouring out every ounce of energy and love for your students. But at what cost? This is called compassion fatigue, a term we don't say enough in leadership circles. It's the emotional residue left behind when you're constantly helping others, often without refilling your own cup. In the book of Galatians, the Apostle Paul encourages us, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Galatians 6:9. But what happens when you are weary? When the well-doing starts feeling like a weight? So let's talk about that. You may be experiencing compassion fatigue if you notice some of these symptoms: increased irritability or apathy toward your work, feeling numb or detached or disillusioned. You're having difficulty sleeping or constant fatigue, or you have a sense of dread before the school day begins. Here's the hidden danger of compassion fatigue. When leaders suffer silently, it sets a tone. Your staff starts mirroring your survival mode. Your students start absorbing your burnout. And suddenly the entire school culture becomes unsustainable. As a consultant, I ask school leaders, where in your building is fatigue silently driving the mission? That's a good question to ask and answer. So let's reframe this. This isn't about working harder. It's about designing better systems of care. You've heard the saying that your success is in your systems. It's true. Do you have protocols in place that protect your teachers from being overextended? Is your staff development focused on social emotional learning for students, but silent on self-care for adults? Are your observation rubrics tracking compliance or wellness indicators? When we design systems that honor human needs, the school becomes a place of flourishing, not just functioning. Through wisdom is an house builded, and by understanding it is established. That's Proverbs 24:3. Wisdom builds healthy schools, not hustle. So here's the shift. Number one, normalize reflective check-ins weekly. Have those 10-minute meetings with yourself or your leadership team and ask the question, who's depleted? Where are we overfunctioning? What systems are no longer serving us? This is something that you can do today. In every segment of this SummitCast, I am giving you actionable strategies that you can apply today. And it's so important. But if you don't do anything with the strategies I'm providing, then you're going to stay stuck. And I'm trying to unstuck you. So, our second strategy in this segment is to embed recovery into the calendar. Build in recovery weeks around testing, report cards, or community events. Don't just recover after burnout, prevent it before. Number 3, model it from the top. School culture is shaped by what leaders tolerate and celebrate. You and I both know that. If you never take breaks, neither will your team. If you never say no, neither will they. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them. That was 1 Timothy 4:16. The verse starts with, take heed unto thyself. Your care starts with your awareness. So let me say this clearly. Your wellness is not optional. Read my lips. Your wellness is not optional. It's not extra. It's essential. And until we stop treating compassion fatigue as a private failure instead of a public crisis, we're going to keep losing our best leaders to burnout. You know I'm right. Let's take a quick break now, but stay with me. When we come back, I'll show you how to lead boldly without losing yourself. So make sure you don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Right now, you're doing your best, but discipline issues still pull your staff off course. What if I told you that with the right strategies, you could reduce those issues by 70% or more? After partnering with me, schools shift from survival mode to solution mode. Teachers gain tools to set clear expectations, redirect behavior with ease, and create environments where learning thrives. Students feel safe, supported, and seen. And you, the leader, get to lead, not constantly putting out fires. That kind of shift is possible. Book a strategy session today and let's unlock that transformation for your school. Click the link below in the comments or in the show notes. Welcome back to the Educator's Edge. I'm Dr. Rhonda Simmons, and this is part 2 of our 1 p.m. Central Standard Time session in the Self-Care SummitCast. We are celebrating today being International Self-Care Day. Yes, July 24th is that day. And in this segment, we're going to go deeper because sustainable leadership isn't just about systems, although systems are important. It's about identity. Let's talk about what it means to lead boldly without losing yourself. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered where you went? You've become the principal, the instructional coach, the administrator, the counselor, the cafeteria substitute, the bus duty queen. Yes, the bus duty queen. We need those. You wear all the hats. You carry all the burdens and still answer emails at 10:47 p.m. Been there and done that too. Somewhere between deadlines and directives, the woman you used to be, the passionate, joyful, vibrant leader, has disappeared into her job title. I want to remind you of something today. God called you by name before the district ever gave you a title. Woo! I love that. That'll preach. Did you hear what I said? God called you by name before the district ever gave you a title. Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. That's what God said in Isaiah 43, 1 and the B section of that verse. Your identity is not your inbox. Hear me when I say that. So let's make it plain. You may be losing yourself if you struggle to answer these questions. What do I enjoy outside of work? Are you having crickets right now? That's telling you something. You feel guilty for resting or setting boundaries. You're known more for your role than your personality. You're constantly reacting instead of leading with vision. We often become role shaped, not soul shaped, being molded by expectation instead of transformation. Leadership shouldn't require you to become someone you're not just to be effective. One of my favorite verses says, "Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that acceptable and perfect will of God," in Romans chapter 12, verse 2. I believe it says that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. It is his will that you learn how to lead without losing yourself. So let's walk through 3 identity reclaims that I teach in my consulting practice. Here's the application part again. Number 1, rediscover your why before the work. We have all heard the term remember your why, but now is actually time to do it. Rediscover your why before the work, before the evaluations, before the mandates. What burden did you carry for children? What made you cry in graduate school because you knew you were called to this work? That's your why. Every Friday morning, I challenge my clients to journal 1 sentence. I know you're pressed for time, so I'm not asking for an essay, but journal 1 sentence. This is why I said yes. That clarity will ground you when everything else tries to pull you apart. The second strategy is create your non-negotiables list. I even did this when I was a teacher. Create your non-negotiables list. These are the pieces of you that are non-negotiable, the things you will not sacrifice in the name of school improvement. That's me giving you the eye. Examples. I will not skip meals for meetings. I will protect Sunday as a no work day. I will not apologize for needing solitude to recharge. What are yours? Those were mine. But what are your non-negotiables? Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Again, that's Proverbs 4:23. Guarding your heart means guarding your humanity. And it's so important that you do that. My third strategy is reclaim rest as a professional development tool. I know I may be sharing something with you today that you have not heard before, but it's that serious. Reclaim rest as a professional development tool. Rest is where vision downloads. Creativity isn't born in chaos, it flows from clarity. Some of the best system redesigns I've done for schools came from moments of stillness. When I stepped away, I could finally see. Ask yourself this question: do I schedule strategic solitude? Do I treat rest as resistance to hustle culture? Do I believe that rest still honors God and makes me effective? For so he giveth his beloved sleep. That's what Psalm 127:2 says. If God gives rest to the beloved, why are we rejecting that gift? So in the school systems that I support, we implement the following. First, we identify check-ins during leadership meetings. How are you doing? Not just your team. How are you doing? personal vision boards for administrators, not just school goals. We even have joy trackers. Yes, joy trackers, where staff record what brought them fulfillment that week. You might call them celebrations. And then we also implement no badge activities, where staff gather in community without talking about work. Leadership without self-loss is possible when we build human-centered systems. It's important that you know that. So let me leave you with this thought. Leadership without identity is just survival. But leadership with identity becomes legacy. You don't have to sacrifice your soul to succeed in school leadership. You can lead with clarity, joy, and purpose because that's who you were before they handed you the keys. When I come back for our final segment, I'm going to show you how to restructure your day for impact without overwhelm. You don't want to miss this next segment. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back. You became an educator to make a difference, not to drown in discipline referrals. Yet, here we are. Too many schools operating in reaction and not strategy. After working with me, leaders build environments where every student feels safe, every teacher feels supported, and every classroom runs with purpose. With proven frameworks that include behavior modeling, redirection techniques, and student engagement systems, the difference is immediate and measurable. Let's reimagine your school's success story. Book a strategy session today. Your staff and your students deserve nothing less. Click on the link below in the comments or in the show notes to get started. Welcome back to the Educator's Edge, the final session in our 1 p.m. Central Time block here at the Self-Care SummitCast. If you've been tracking with me through segments 1 and 2, then you already know this. You can be called, committed, and compassionate and still be crumbling. But what if the answer isn't quitting? What if it's redesigning your day instead of sacrificing yourself on the altar of the system? Let's talk about systems over sacrifice. How to lead your day instead of letting your day lead you. So here's what I want you to know. Many educators aren't burnout because they hate the work. They're burnout because their days are running on default mode. They're filled with interruptions, unrealistic expectations, and no sacred space for strategic thinking. The bell dictates your next move. The calendar dictates your worth. And the inbox has become the idol you worship at. Can you relate to what I'm saying here? It is the truth. I've been there. But we were never designed to run on someone else's chaos. Hallelujah for that. Let all things be done decently and in order. 1 Corinthians 14:40. This includes the way you move through your leadership day. Before we redesign your schedule, let's locate the energy leaks, those small, consistent drains that lead to depletion by noon. Here are a few examples. Micro decisions before 9 a.m., dozens of quick questions that kill your focus, back-to-back meetings with no recovery or prep time, unprotected planning blocks that get hijacked for everyone else's emergencies, serving in everyone else's lane because you haven't built capacity in your team. Here are the questions you need to ask yourself. When do I feel most reactive during the day? What part of my day feels like a constant fire drill? Where am I most easily interrupted? You can't fix what you won't face. So let's face it together. Here's a rhythm I teach in my Leadership Day redesign consultations. It's called the poise framework. Poise. I love that word. Excuse me. Because if you're going to lead well, you need poise under pressure. And that takes a system. You cannot get away from systems. Let me walk you through it. P stands for prepare with purpose. Begin your day before others place demands on it. Arrive early and sit quietly. There's that strategic stillness again. Review your top 3 priorities that are aligned with your role, not just your tasks. Review your scripture for the day and invite the Holy Spirit into your leadership. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. That's Proverbs 16:3. O stands for own your boundaries. We talked about boundaries earlier. Establish clear working blocks that are non-negotiable. For example, no meetings before 10 a.m. That's your vision hour. For strategic planning, only 2 urgent interruptions allowed per day. Use a gatekeeper if possible. And on Fridays, that's the day for follow-up and finishing. No new meetings. Train your team and protect your calendar. You teach people how to treat your time. I is for instruct with intentionality. Be fully present when you're pouring into others. Whether you're leading a professional development session or coaching a teacher or supporting a student, let them feel your full presence. This honors God and honors their humanity. Don't multitask your ministry. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might. Ecclesiastes 9:10. S stands for schedule stillness. You need a reset built into your day. Take a true lunch break away from your desk. Yes, away from your desk. Step outside for 5 minutes of quiet or prayer. Journal one sentence, just one sentence about what went well. Stillness is where clarity recalibrates chaos. In returning and rest shall ye be saved. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. That's what Isaiah 30:15 says. E stands for exit strategically. Now, no, I'm not telling you to develop an exit strategy from your job. I'm talking about in your daily routines. Exit strategically. Don't let your day bleed into your evening. Have a 15-minute end-of-day ritual where you brain dump tomorrow's top 3 priorities. Pray over unresolved issues and release them. Leave on time without guilt. You could stay till midnight and the work will never be finished. So why stay? Leave on time without the guilt. Closing your workday with intention teaches your nervous system that you're safe to rest. And on the 7th day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested. Genesis 2:2. If God rested, you have permission to rest too. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. If it sounds like I'm talking about systems a lot, it's because I am. They're the secret to your success. Most educators have the desire to be well, but lack the structure to sustain wellness. That's where I come in. When I consult with schools, I don't just talk about leadership. I build sustainable systems that help people like you protect your purpose, preserve your peace, and still get results. Because results don't have to come from running yourself ragged. Results can come from rhythm, from rest, from redesign. If you're leading without systems, you are volunteering for burnout. But if you'll allow yourself to stop, assess, and realign, you'll discover that you can lead in a way that doesn't break your body or your spirit. because leadership should not feel like martyrdom. You don't need to die to be effective. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. That's what Jesus said in John 10:10. The abundant life is not just for your students, it's for you too. So stick around for our next hour of the Self-Care SummitCast, where we continue helping purpose-driven women lead with strategies, sustainability, and sacred alignment. Until the next time, stay aligned, stay faithful, and stay on fire with your purpose. I'll see you at the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere. Imagine walking into your school and hearing the hum of engaged students and not the chaos of constant disruptions. Right now, many educators are spending more time managing behaviors than delivering instruction. But it doesn't have to be that way. After working with me, schools gain practical, research-backed systems that dramatically reduce office referrals and empower teachers to stay calm, consistent, and in control. The results? A positive school culture, restored instructional time, and confident educators who are free to do what they were called to do: teach. If you're ready to turn classroom chaos into calm, book a strategy session with me today and let's improve student success together. Click the link below in the comments or in the show notes.